GATV family, was good, y'all, was good. Now, we're gonna have a wonderful presentation today. To drop the body, you gotta cut the head. So let's make this clear. When I come after the Tariq Nasheeds of the world, it's solely meant to go after the cowards who hide under that umbrella of hate, divisiveness. You got to cut the head off. See, Tariq is the figurehead here. All you brothers that come under my comments, all you sisters that want to follow the lead of loser ass niggas that got nothing planned but just want to be loud and proud with no construct, understand something. Y'all ain't no damn Panthers. That includes the NFAC, ADOS, Freedmen, B1, and especially those special fuck niggas, FDA. You guys keep misconstruing FDA for actual black Americans. Ain't nothing foundational about nothing that started 2 years ago under the trademark opted by Tariq Nasheed. Ain't nothing foundational about Freedmen, B1, ADOS. They're gonna fade away like the civil war y'all recently had with Secure the Tribe. See, that nonsense is not reciprocated from good, upstanding, productive folks. So again, to drop the body, you gotta chop the head. You guys ain't no damn Panthers. You could never be those beautiful people that understood what transparency meant. Initial construct. They had chairmen, directors, chapter leaders, presidents, a financial public sector showing where and what funds come in, what are they used for, expenses, etc. Before we continue, let's give special shout out to the Huey P. Newtons of the world, Bobby Seale, Angela Davis, Eldridge Cleaver, Kathleen Cleaver, Elaine Brown, Stokely Carmichael, aka Kwame Ture, born in Trinidad. That's a tether none of you could touch. Fred Hampton, Kathleen, as I said, was somebody very special to Eldridge. You need that queen on your side to be on that rise. Barbara Easley. None of you figureheads in these groups could never be that. NFAC. What's going on with Jam Master Jay? Somewhere stuck in prison, right? Couldn't get that corruptness out of his system, right? We have to eloquently decipher this today once and for all and get rid of these fuck boys keep coming with this hate. Think y'all not Tariq Nasheed. One thing I could give that brother, he's intelligent. He know who to go scam after. He won't do that to the brothers and sisters that got their head on straight. He do it to you non-productive, bitter nobodies. And any sisters following you, it says it all. Let's get right into it, y'all. Without further ado. Now I know I came in hot and heavy, but ain't no half-stepping when you playing with the direction of our people. When you are co-opting yourself into previous movements that has done the groundwork, that has bled, and you watching all these fuckboys come in this space, chanting their hollow slogans. This is about the babies, about reversing a resurrected mindset that was detrimental back in the 80s and the 90s. You got these old fuckboys trying to introduce this horrible position to a lot of new fuckboys. See, I understand these movements are full of 50-year-old frauds that hasn't accomplished anything. So they want to spearhead something to benefit themselves, not the people. Who were the Black Panthers? Since that's what these groups are trying to be. Who were the Black Panthers, I ask you? In October 1966, Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton, two college-educated black brothers, funded the Black Panther Party for self-defense. And it was a political organization. I'm telling y'all, a political organization, not a fake lineage, not a fake run scam donation. You know, the whole concept of an organization running through donations, but is not transparent is the joke for anybody that contributed to that. Shout out to Taharka Bey. He had a special program a couple days ago, also putting accountability on you gullible people. You gullible people are becoming some of our problems. You are so bent out of shape. You are so destroyed mentally and physically that you're looking internally through your bitterness to look for a leader. And who do you choose? The Tariq Nasheeds of the world, the Connie Collins of the world, the Jam Master Jays of the world. You don't want to hear with P. Newton and Bobby Seale. College educated, and even if he didn't go to any white man school, any black man school, they were self-educated, intellectually compatible to stand with the best of them. This is who you look after when you talk about grassroots political electoral community organizing. You don't look for people who tell you your vote don't matter. You make it matter. We need more people to have localized committee leadership. We need more people to have localized committee leadership. We don't need any more mono leaders. What do I mean? Well, you think of the group FBA, the only face you can recognize is a Tariq Nasheed. There are no chapters, there are no chairmen, presidents, and you're telling me it's a lineage. It's a lineage. Well, these white boys called us nigger. I don't remember that being a lineage. Let me tell you something, folks. A grassroots movement is something dealing with the political spectrum, organizing what is foundational of what we started and existed in the first place, in terms of us protesting what we're against. Grassroots community organizing is a political electoral community organization. That was the key, y'all. This is what it is. This is why it was made for. The Panthers were attacked. They went through shootouts. They were attacked in the streets. They were attacked in their homes, in the mornings. They were attacked at colleges, universities. They shot at them. They shot right back at them. They were murdered. By the end of 1969, there were already 28 dead main figureheads of the Black Panther Party, man. See, when you are a threat, a real threat, you will get that energy. But you think the B1s, the NFACs, the FBAs, ADOs are our actual threat. If anything, I think you guys are co-opted in our agents, because you ain't pushing no needle of threat to this government. That I promise you. Imagine a group talking about black power, but then telling all their people to not vote. There's a way you negotiate your vote. But the best answer that your leaders, like the Connie Collins, Tariq Nasheeds, Jam Master Jays, all they could tell you is don't vote. Don't vote. Well, I was reading an article many moons ago on Bobby Seale. And Bobby Seale was asked, why was the Black Panther Party created? And Bobby said, and I'm going to paraphrase what he said, but these are his words. He says, I was just trying to get a political organization going so we can get more politicians. Black power came out, and that's one thing to advocate, black power. But I was telling the guys around, I said, you know, you ain't going to have any black power or power at all until we get more political seats, more city council seats, more county supervisorial seats, more sheriff seats. This is what our African American people's community have to have so we can deal with the legislative policies and allocation of money and funds for programs, jobs, etc. That's where the power is. Now imagine Bobby Seale saying that, and contrast that with a Tariq Nasheed and others telling you your vote don't matter. Just pretend to knock on them white boys' doors and say, cut the check. Now, enough of this introducing. Some of you don't even want to get into who these people were, but I'm telling you, you have people that did it the right way, and we didn't support them the way we were supposed to. But you got bitter, black, disingenuous folks running around under the umbrella of hate, doing damn well what they daddies like the KKK and slave masters taught them. And they are instrumenting it quite wonderful. Quite wonderful. All of a sudden, a resurrection of xenophobic hate again. Not towards white immigrants, not towards that white supremacists that they love to say that that's who they're pushing against. It's other black folk, y'all. It's other black folks. Let's just jump right into what I came here to decipher. And yes, I'm angry. Don't ask why. Don't tell me chill. The problem is you guys are jumping in a realm that you know nothing about. When you're talking about the term black power, when you're talking about grassroots movements, when you're talking about nationalism of black unity, there ain't no half-stepping. There ain't no half-stepping. And when you got little outlets, little sectors, little fuck boys devising a plan under the umbrella and scheming of the Tariq Nasheeds of the world, Jam Master Jays of the world, who want to stand around every protest with his guns but ain't gonna bust a grape. Ain't gonna bust a grape. You gotta come in hot and heavy like this. See, I've tried it the nice way, but for some reason I feel like I'm not being who I really am. I really do this, and I know, I'm telling you, I smell those fuck boys. I smell niggas that ain't gonna do shit, and these are the ones we gotta get out the way. Again, I said, to drop the body, you gotta cut off the head. So I'm getting straight into my deciphering, and I'm gonna explain to you quite clearly why a group like ADOS, FBA, B1, and Freedmen are a waste of your time. Let them debate you with hate, deflection tactics, but I'm coming in with facts. And I'm telling you, fuck boys, if you have something to say, come at me properly and debate the facts. I don't care how you feel about me personally, because you don't fucking know me. But I'm telling you this right now. If you champion yourself as a historian, as somebody fighting for your people, as someone with any type of intelligence, which we know majority of these groups have people that don't even have a high school education. But if you think you have a semblance of any type of education, any type of integrity, any type of intelligence, let's debate these facts. Let's get right into it, y'all. Now, I chose the Black Panther Party as an example of what a real grassroots movement is. One backed up by the people, because that's how transparent they were. That's how transparent they were. Not only that, the Panthers introduced the 10-point plan. These are brothers that made sure black single mothers didn't go with empty bellies, and their children didn't go with empty bellies. They had so many programs instituted in the communities that we didn't have to worry about DCF, welfare, Medicaid, none of that. Do for self was the mantra. A mantra that the Tariq Nasheeds of the world, Connie Collins, Jam Master Jays, and so many others. Teslin, you know, Tariq's little side chick. The Teslins of the world, all them corny ass books she writes, learn from her daddy Tariq. These folks are not even instituting any programs to benefit the youth, y'all. This is why I'm going so hard. You keep telling me it's a lineage, another half of them telling me it's a great organization, but they can't tell you what they're instituting. Now you tell me if we need another nightclub museum in the hood. You tell me if that's beneficial to what we're going through, specifically our youth. You guys don't understand what it means to be organized. What you do is you love a popularity contest. So you look for charisma. You look for the fuck nigga that you don't realize is 50 plus, but this is what he gave to you as a representation of what he has done for black folk. I ain't talking about them pseudo history YouTube documentaries. I ain't talking about his how to get a whole freaking pimp book. I ain't talking about that foolishness. I ain't talking about that fake beef he has with so-called white supremacists. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about the Panthers really showed us how to be self-sufficient. They made it to the likings of the Black Reconstruction era. It made you think of Rosewood, Tulsa, Oklahoma. So many communities that were spearheading their own direction. They didn't put it in the hands of a white man. Sure, they were owed their 40 acres in the mule, but that's not what it was about. Sitting around waiting till master comes with the goods. Nah, they did for self. I take this highly offensive that you will tell me and wave this BS groups in my face as a legitimate organization. Show me their constitution as a unit. Show me what they're doing beneficial for your own children. But you tell me it's a lineage. Most of y'all don't even know what a lineage means. Do you understand? Bloodlines don't cut. You don't get to pick and choose. And I don't give a damn what any African country, any Caribbean country, them and their people choose to, identify as whatever. I don't care about any groups that want to hug what a slave master gave you as your identity. Till this day in Africa right now, the biggest problem I have with them, they're holding on to imaginary borders the white man gave them when he colonized them. So I don't care about what you claim to be, Nigerian, Ethiopian, South African. I don't care about none of that, because I could throw the whole lot of you with these fuck boys, FBA, ADOS, B1, NFAC. I could throw y'all in the whole pot together. See, sometimes it's time to come at you straight forward. No more pussyfooting around with this stuff. This is things people are sacrificing. I wake up every day and go advocate. I wake up every day and go put the work in. I'm highly offended, not by the figureheads, the Tariq Nasheeds or whatever. I'm highly offended by my people walking around championing bullshit. I only thank God knowing for a fact it's not the majority of my black American brothers and sisters, my Pan-African brothers and sisters. It's not the majority of us that are getting railroaded by following trends or whatever. That only makes us more divided. But I'm telling you, the Panthers was the foundation of what is superior when you are building up an organization that's so transparent that it had boatloads of chapters, had the minds of many, to the point people would die for it. For all you fuck boys that are claiming FBA, ADOS, B1, and Freedmen, I could smell the cowardice in your heart. How many of you would die for that? How many of you? You come on Twitter and YouTube and profess to be the all end all with you. I built this, I built that. Fuck boy, do it again. Stop crying for that white boy to give you a piece of paper and do it again. We have the intelligence, we have the mindsets, and we have the history of what's been done. The blueprint was set for y'all by the Panthers. But see, y'all ain't pick up the blueprint because you ain't no damn Panthers. See, one component about being well-rounded, at times you have to speak in the language of the fuck boys. You got to reduce yourself from fighting the urge to not poorly represent yourself in that manner, but sometimes you gotta go way down in that hellhole of bitterness and speak in the language of the fuck boys to get their attention, to make them comprehend what the hell is going on out here. I hope y'all still here with me. I hope y'all still here with me. But understand this right now. The movement for reparations has been infiltrated by some groups spreading hateful rhetoric about black immigrants online. Clearly, descendants of American slavery deserve to have their case heard and receive restorative justice for the slavery and discrimination in the colonies. I mean, fueling hatred for black immigrants, discouraging people from voting, and spreading misinformation will not help black Americans get across that finish line. I swear to y'all. I swear to y'all. It's a shame I even have to present like this, y'all. But promoting black on black hate, specifically against black immigrants, goes against every civil rights leader's teachings. It's giving white supremacist vibes. I'm sorry. It's giving white supremacist vibes. Never again can we afford to live with the narrow, provincial, outside agitator idea. Anyone who lives inside the United States can never be considered an outsider anywhere within its bounds. That was by your boy, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who wrote that in 1963 as he sat in a Birmingham jail. Let that sink in for a second. Understand, most black Americans who are progressive and productive, who are truly for their people in the diaspora, do not share these hateful sentiments of these fuck boys and girl groups. For the most part, black Americans understand the notion of their roots being from Africa, and I see the respect that is given to black immigrants from them. And as a descendant of the chattel slavery system also in Haiti, I am calling foul on the play, because people are spreading hate speech online about black immigrants do not represent black Americans, although the majority of whom voted for the Democratic candidates in the last presidential election. But Tariq and his fuckboys won't touch on that. That was a one-sided, backwards idea, by the way, to give away your vote in a boatload to one party. These are some of the reasons why we're falling behind. But let's be clear, people. Black people are not being held back by black immigrants in any way, shape, or form, or any stretch of the imagination. But you may be confused about that matter if you find yourself on social platforms these days and see all this hateful anti-black immigrant rhetoric smeared all over by the likings of the fuck boys and ADOS, the fuck girls and boys in FBA, the fake ass wannabe Black Panther NFAC, and B1 and Freedmen. Let us not forget that millions of black Americans rose up to condemn the kids in cages policies that defined the Trump administration. They did so more than the Latinos, Asian Americans, or white people. So once again, while it's valid to critique the hate speech we see, I think the online presence of agitators has caused a false impression that black Americans dislike or hate immigrants. And that couldn't be further from the truth, y'all. I'm telling you. I keep saying this. FBA and all these other fuckboys do not represent the majority of black Americans. More than any other group, black Americans have been committed to improving this country and welcoming in diverse ideas. I've seen it. The colleges I've went through, the places I've traveled. There's great perspectives, cultural practices. So what lies are being spread by the foundational black fuck boys and girls of America and the ADOS descendants of slavery fuck boys and girls? Well, allow me to break down those lies. One of the lies is that we don't need a study for reparations. Too many black people are spreading the lie that we don't need a study for reparations. Tariq Nasheed and Yvette Carnell and the Kali Collins, they all say we don't need a study for reparations. And many other black people in those fuckboy groups of theirs echoes the same sentiments. What's the truth about the movement for restorative justice? So what is the status of black Americans' movement for restorative justice today? See, HR 40 currently has 196 Democratic co-sponsors and 0 Republicans in the House of Representatives. Now, if groups like ADOS and FBA were serious about pursuing reparations, they would support pro-reparation candidates, but sadly, that's not the case. Instead, they shout, cut the check, into the virtual ether as if it's restorative justice is going to fall into black Americans' laps. And it's not, folks. And even more disturbing, these organizations are promoting anti-black immigrant rhetoric, which does not help black Americans secure reparations, as only approximately 13% of the American public. Any pro-black legislation will need to be supported by a coalition of voters, i.e. meaning even other blacks in the diaspora, you fools, which would need to include the majority of black Americans, which means black Americans from all lineages. That's what y'all say. White progressives would have to vote for it. Latino voters would have to vote for it. Asian American voters would have to vote for it. Pacific Islanders would have to vote for it. And indigenous people would have to vote for it. Please don't talk to me about Dane Calloway. I know y'all heard the word indigenous, and all of a sudden, I can see so many people coming into my content who's really following Dane, and I'm not even going down that rabbit hole. I'm not. That's for dumbass motherfuckers who never studied shit to go follow that. Just call yourself an Indian and let's see if you can go get that casino money. Let's see you go try to get that. Like I don't know we had Native Americans. Nigga, we are Alpha Omega. We are the mothers and fathers of civilizations. We circumnavigated the entire globe. I'm not surprised about anything we are, but to pretend that you're not African, fuck out of here. First things first. We do need a study for reparations because Congress controls the purse strings, meaning that any study that was conducted by an organization such as a university, nonprofit organization, or individual efforts is not a substitute for the study Congress would need to consider reparations. Intentionally, these fuck boys and girls groups are taking advantage of the fact that many non-academics don't really understand the purpose of conducting a study about a topic the public already thinks they understand to some extent. On June 1st, 2022, the Task Force to Study and Develop Reparations Proposals for African Americans issued its interim report to the California legislature. Their report demonstrates that within 1 year, a black-led legislative effort can study the impact of slavery and racial discrimination and make recommendations including but not limited to cash payments for descendants of slavery. Black Americans need a study on a national level, y'all. And those opposing a study couldn't possibly be serious about securing restorative justice. How can Tariq Nasheed and his FBA fuckboys and the ADOS fuckboys and the NFAC, B1 and Freedmen be serious about reparations but turn back a study that clearly could have made this happen? Guys, this is about ego, and this is about promoting self causes, pocketing your money, gathering your attention. It is not about reparations. If this was about reparations, they would have supported HR 40. I'm telling you this. I'm telling y'all this. You guys are I sometimes get speechless because I don't want to believe what Taharka said the other day, that we really have to start blaming you gullible people, because you guys are following folks who's crying about reparations but it's not putting the actual work to get it done. Do you guys have any representatives that can go to Washington and start committees, etc.? No, these are the same people telling you don't vote. They tell you don't vote. While I understand that I have to question how valuable my vote is, I know as a father, as a military vet, as a member of the community here, it is foolish to think your vote, is something you should just throw away. Black Americans would need sufficient support in the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the White House to make the ancestors' dreams a reality. Besides xenophobia violating our civil rights leaders' dreams of a unified black community, xenophobia is an effective strategy to secure, restorative justice. This is what they think. So you're going to say all this xenophobic rhetoric and think this is what's going to help you get closer to reparations. Most black Americans are playing three-dimensional chess to get the resources we need in our communities. Some of these people are chaos agents, Tariq, Yvette, looking to stir the pot, entirely uninterested in improving black American lives. Together we gotta condemn hatred against black immigrants. I'm telling you this because you're really going against your own ideas and necessities that are supposed to be constructed here with the help of the diaspora. See, this has no place in our movement for equal rights, y'all. You want restorative justice, but you're gonna promote xenophobic rhetoric? Come on. Another lie we gotta break down and get rid of. FBA ADOS, Freedmen, B1, they love to say black Americans don't come from Africa. Now, before you laugh, it's not a joke because these ignorant ass folks really pushes this narrative. For some reason, people truly believe the likes of Dane Calloway, Tariq Nasheed, Marcel Dixon to solely place us as indigenous. Yet some members of these groups still claims black Americans did not come from Africa. Just as Holocaust deniers reject the mountains of evidence that shows the hatred and inhumane treatment of Nazis exhibited against Jewish people, some deny slavery occurred at all. Yeah, these fuck boys and fuck girls literally are pushing on the edge of a narrative that basically slavery never occurred at all. That black people who arrived on ships from Africa were probably, merely 1%. The rest, they all were here. Like, let me tell you something. Shout out to Ivan Sertima. He wrote a book. They came from before Columbus. Great book. But if you really read the book, it goes into the premise of what I'm telling you. As the original men and women on the planet, we've been all over the globe. So it's not a surprise that, yes, there were those of us that was already here in the Americas. We circumnavigated the entire globe. But to say that black people did not come from Africa, when any historian, scholar, scientist can tell you the entire population on this planet came from that world, came from the land called Africa. It's laughable that y'all taking this narrative serious. It's laughable at this point. Groups like the FBA fuckboys and groups like the ADOS fuckboys and girls, groups like the B1 freedmen, they seem to forget that the colonies, which became the United States, were just different stops on the transatlantic slave trade, y'all. White people kidnapped and sold 12 million black people for profit and to secure a system of white supremacy. Like most lies with legs, these extremists are mixing fact and fiction. Many black people, particularly in the South, are also mixed with indigenous heritage, a mix which is called Creole. However, they leave a key part out of the equation, and I like to say they do this intentionally, y'all. They do it intentionally because they know a lot of their followers, I'm sorry to say this, I gotta say it, a lot of their followers are uneducated, won't take 2 minutes to sit down and study shit. So they know they can play with them like this. When white people colonized these lands, some indigenous people were killed, others enslaved, and others allowed to live freely on their lands. The ones enslaved alongside black people, mostly descending from West Africa, y'all, had kids together. They had children together. So the presence of indigenous heritage within black Americans doesn't mean the slave trade never occurred or that real black Americans are not African. Unfortunately, the fuckboys of the world like FBA, you know, they're in opposition to Pan-Africanism. I mean, that's like becoming nothing more than an excuse to perpetuate hatred online, y'all. Some even complain about Pan-African colors used in the Juneteenth celebration, as if Juneteenth itself couldn't be looked as a joke in and of itself. No offense, I'm just saying. You're looking for reparations, they throw you a holiday, and a lot of our people were, you know, they were good by that. Listen, man, as someone that has frequently visited New Orleans, one of the largest slave ports in the antebellum South, I find it bizarre that some of you fuck boys and fuck girls claim black people didn't come from Africa. I mean, I can't make this up. I really can't make this up. Now, folks, even in my heightened passion, fueled sounding like rage and anger, I gave you intellectual, factual evidence of why you shouldn't be promoting these groups. I'm supposed to have a live right now, a live debate with Afro Elite. And Afro Elite, I have issues with you, but you extended your hands and you gave me respect. So I give that respect back. In my anger, I don't have to, you know, become the fuck boy that I'm rooting against. I don't need to be that. If you're my brother and you want to keep it respectful and we only debate off of facts, not, you know, the typical rhetoric your brother Tariq Nasheed promotes that you blindly follow, and you seem like you're a bright brother, but I think you really follow off of what you really want to believe in. See, sometimes we really want to believe in something that we blindly take a path that is gonna be our demise. I'm telling you, man, I would love for one of these guys to come in my space and debate me, man. All you dudes who put these comments under my page, I know you have a 3rd grade education. I know some of you never made it past middle school, but I have hopes. I have hopes for that fake intelligence that you hold. In the air of your arrogance, in your ignorance, I would love for you to debate the facts, but you won't do it. So you just use the words and verbiage your daddy Tariq gives you. Some of you even follow that. See, I almost said a word that could have got me dismissed on YouTube, but that woman-loving woman, Yvette Carnell, some of you brothers follow her. I've even seen brothers trying to put their life on the line for Connie Collins. And while it seems romantic to put your life on the line for a sister, you don't do it for a sister that don't have the best interests of her people. You don't do that, y'all. These people ain't serious about reparations. There's been so many other groups really doing the groundwork that the Tariq Nasheeds of the world, the ADOS, the B1s and Freedmens have not helped supported. Because dare I say, you guys want to be the champion? Can't get over yourself, can't get over your ego. You want to be the face, or maybe you want to be in the background pocketing the money, not being transparent. Can't show us the construction of your organization. We don't know who's the president. We don't see your chapters. We don't see the chairman. We don't know where the finances are going. But you gullible people are the ones sending in your money. It's time I stop feeling sorry for you people. Shout out to Taharka on that. Just as we going hard on these fuck boys and fuck girls that's coming in like agents trying to divide us, we gotta start calling out these gullible people. Your ignorance is not an excuse anymore. Your ignorance is not an excuse anymore. None of you ask questions. You just root because you love seeing something that mirrors your bitterness, your failures in life. You need someone to blame for why you haven't succeeded, why you have fallen so far down that it's easier to go after other black folks than that white supremacist you love cheerleading about. It's easier to make all these Instagram, Twitter, degrading remarks about other black people, but you leave that white boy alone. You know daddy, you scared of daddy. You guys are cowards. You wouldn't bust a grape like I said. You wouldn't bust a damn grape. You got a Morse leader in Tariq. You got females that have no respect for the nuclear family in Connie Collins, Yvette Carnell. You got this chaos brewing, and that's what you want to follow. I don't even care if you just put faith in yourself and just did the work, but damn it, do the work. Do the work. That's why I said, man, I see who's spearheading these movements. This hate is these fuck boys and girls back from the 80s and 90s. Shout out to NFAC for pointing that out. I've been in those realms. I've seen that shit. It's these fuck boys and girls that want to pretend they Malcolm X, Black Panthers, Martin Luther King. They're none of that. And that's why I say I really advocate for the young, man. I advocate for the young. I'm only talking like this, hoping these young folks hear this shit, man. Stay out of the way of this foolishness, man. This thing can't benefit y'all life. If you're not ready to die, if you're not ready to go down the line of what you're talking about, don't follow these groups, man. These groups ain't gonna bust a grape. They're gonna leave you to the path of nowhere. They're gonna teach you how to be like that clan member that only knows how to hate but can't produce shit. All right, back to my proper self. This was your boy gravitating away. Hopefully you saw how I, eloquently destroyed the lies coming from these folks. I really hope you guys know this was from the heart, sincerely. I have no quarrels with my black brothers and sisters anywhere on this place. But if you rather be a champion of ignorance and misinformation, honestly, to hell with you, man. To hell with you, because too much time's a wasting. And I see the new generation of black folks coming up, and I don't got time to waste with broken men and women. I'm sorry, your time is over. Your time is over. It's your boy GA, man. Holla at me.